Are there higher degrees of black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? So in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's very difficult to get a black belt. It usually takes around 10 to 15 years. The legal minimum time is 6 years to get a black belt, which is possible for people who train like almost daily and are very talented. I'm currently a 3rd degree BJJ black belt, as you can see here. That means, so after you reach your black belt, that means you should have the whole curriculum of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in you and able to apply it. It's a bit different than a black belt, let's say, in Taekwondo or most karate styles, that mostly marks the difference between a beginner and advanced practitioner. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, usually we see the black belt as being a master of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu martial art. After about 1 year, you should get, so you get black belt, right? If you get teacher credentials, you get a red bar as well. And after about 1 year, you get the white ends. After about 3 years, not after about, after 3 years, you are eligible to get the first stripes. You're now a 1st degree black belt. So if you're a black belt, you're not a 1st degree, you're black belt. Then after 3 years, 1st degree. After another 3 years, 2nd degree. After another 3 years, for a total 9 years after you reach your black belt, you are a 3rd degree black belt. 5 years later, you can get the 4th degree. Another 5 years later, you can get the 5th degree. And I believe another 5 years later, the 6th degree. And then things start getting interesting, because for the 7th degree, you don't just wear the black belt anymore. You now have a coral belt, which is red and black. Pop, 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 pop. Like a red part, black part, red part, black part, red part, like a coral. And you can now claim the title of Master of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And after another, I believe, 7 years, you get the 8th degree. Now your coral belt is red and white. Red, white, red, white, red, white. And you're still Master of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And if it's another 7 or 10 years later, I don't know. I think it's a total of 49 years something, or 39 years. 39 years after you get your black belt. You can get the red belt, 9th degree, and are now a Grand Master of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is the highest possible rank in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Because the 10th degree was agreed to, for the moment at least, that it shall be reserved for only the founders, the pioneers of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like Helio Gracie and Carlson Gracie. Only those have the 10th degree. So yes, there are higher degrees, and no, a higher degree of black belt doesn't necessarily mean that you are higher skilled or have higher knowledge. It means that you are now a black belt for a very long time. You're a very experienced black belt. And usually, depending on your lineage, you should also have a success as a black belt, as a teacher. No more as a student. It's not anymore about your own technique and your own prowess. It's about what are you doing for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Not anymore what did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu do for you. Now it is what did you do for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. How many students did you have? Were they successful in tournaments? Did you teach self-defense courses? Like, did you help people to improve their lives, to learn to defend themselves? Were your students successful in tournaments? Did you make black belts yourself? Did you teach black belts? So, like, did you produce new trainers for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Did you help spread the art around the world? Things like that are then decisive in if you will get a higher degree in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.